He was ordered to stuff a lion he'd never seen. The result became a viral meme. In the age of the internet, a single strange photograph can travel around the world in a matter of hours, becoming a global sensation. In the 2010s, one such image began to appear everywhere. It showed a taxidermied lion on display in a grand European castle. But the lion was wrong. In fact, it was hilariously, spectacularly, and almost impossibly wrong. Its eyes were wide set and cartoonishly close together. Its mouth was pulled back in a bizarre, toothy grin that looked more like a human smile than a fearsome roar. It looked less like the king of the jungle and more like a friendly but very confused house cat. The image became a beloved internet meme. But behind the laughter is a profound and fascinating historical mystery. This is the incredible true story of the Lion of Gripsholm Castle, and the bizarre 280-year-old reason why it looks the way it does. But before we start our story, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and hit that notifications bell so you won't miss any of our new incredible stories. To understand the story of this strange lion, we must first travel back to the opulent and politically charged world of early 18th century Europe. This was an age of powerful monarchies, a time when kings and queens ruled with absolute authority. And one of the most important ways these rulers displayed their immense power and global reach was through their royal menageries. Long before the existence of public zoos, these private collections of exotic animals were the ultimate status symbol. A king who could display a living lion, an elephant, or a tiger was making a clear and powerful statement that his influence extended to the farthest and most exotic corners of the known world. These animals were not just creatures. They were living jewels, diplomatic pawns that were often exchanged between powerful rulers as magnificent gifts to seal treaties and curry favor. Our story begins in the year 1731. At that time, Sweden was a major European power, and its king, Frederick I, was keen to maintain friendly relations with the powerful states of North Africa. As a grand gesture of diplomacy, the Bey of Algiers, the ruler of what is now modern-day Algeria, decided to present the Swedish king with one of the most prestigious and powerful gifts imaginable: a live Barbary lion. The arrival of this magnificent and dangerous creature in Stockholm would have been an incredible spectacle. For the vast majority of Swedes, a lion was a creature of myth and legend, a beast they had only ever seen depicted in paintings or on royal coats of arms. To see a living, breathing lion in the flesh would have been the modern equivalent of seeing a living dinosaur. The lion was given a home in the royal menagerie in Stockholm, where it lived for several years as one of the king's most prized and popular possessions. It was a symbol of his power, a living testament to his kingdom's global connections. But life in captivity, far from its native North African habitat, was not easy for the great cat. A few years after its arrival, the lion passed away from natural causes. The king, not wanting to lose this powerful symbol, gave an order. The lion was to be preserved for posterity. Its skin and its bones were to be sent to a taxidermist, who would then stuff and mount the creature so that it could be displayed forever as a permanent monument to the king's reign. And it is at this exact moment that our story takes its bizarre and hilarious turn. We now must put ourselves in the shoes of that 18th century Swedish taxidermist. This is the mid-1700s. There are no photographs. There are no nature documentaries. There are no encyclopedias with detailed anatomical drawings of lions. All the taxidermist had to work from were the bones, the skin, and perhaps some fanciful medieval-era artistic depictions of lions, which often showed them as heraldic beasts with almost human-like faces. He had no idea what a lion's facial muscles looked like, no idea of its correct posture, no idea of the shape of its teeth and gums. He was, in essence, tasked with reconstructing a three-dimensional monster from a two-dimensional story. He created a creature that was a masterpiece of guesswork, a work of art that was anatomically a complete and utter disaster. The resulting creature was then sent to Gripsholm Castle, a royal property, to be put on display. And for the next 250 years, it stood there, a quiet, bizarre, and largely forgotten oddity in the castle's vast collection. Its strange, comical face, a silent testament to the challenges of 18th century taxidermy. The Swedish taxidermist was now faced with an impossible task. He had to reconstruct a fearsome, three-dimensional predator from a flat, two-dimensional hide and a pile of bones with no accurate reference to guide him. He stretched the lion's skin over a wooden frame he had built, but without understanding the animal's powerful musculature, he created a creature with a stiff, almost dog-like posture. The real catastrophe, however, happened with the face. Not knowing the precise anatomy of a lion's skull and jaw, he mounted the eyes too far forward on the head and unnaturally close together, giving the creature a flat, almost human-like face instead of a feline muzzle. The teeth were an even greater challenge. He likely didn't have the original lion's teeth, or didn't know how to set them in a realistic snarl. It did not look like the mighty king of the jungle. It looked like a cartoon character, a friendly, slightly dopey monster from a children's storybook. The finished product was sent to Gripsholm Castle, where it was put on display, a bizarre and largely forgotten oddity in the castle's vast collection for the next 250 years. And there the story might have ended, if not for the invention of the internet. We now jump forward to the 2010s. A tourist visiting the historic Gripsholm Castle was wandering through its halls when they came face to face with the strange, grinning lion. Amused and baffled by the creature's comically bad appearance, they did what any modern tourist would do. They took a picture and posted it online. The image landed on social media and internet forums, and it exploded. The Lion of Gripsholm Castle became an overnight international internet sensation. It was a perfect storm of viral content. The image was bizarre, hilarious, and completely real. It became one of the internet's most beloved memes. People shared it with captions like, "This is what happens when you lie on your resume," or "Go home, taxidermy, you're drunk." An object that had been a minor, quirky curiosity for centuries was suddenly their most famous exhibit. People began traveling to the castle from all over the world, not to see the royal portraits or the historic architecture, but to take a selfie with the hilarious, badly stuffed lion. The story of the Lion of Gripsholm Castle is a fascinating and funny tale about the strange and unpredictable ways that history can be preserved and rediscovered. It is the story of a diplomatic gift from a king and the impossible task given to an 18th century artisan who had never seen his subject. And it is the story of how the strange, democratic, and chaotic power of the internet can reach back in time, pluck a forgotten object from obscurity, and give it a new, second life as a global celebrity. It is a profound reminder that sometimes the most memorable and beloved masterpieces are the ones that are perfectly, wonderfully, and unforgettably wrong.